Hey folks, Jonathan here, back working on the brakes on the 55 Chevrolet truck. You know, these rear I was talking about, without the bed on it, you know, a lot of rain got in there, and everything in there was pretty rough. And we about got this one straightened out. I had a hard time with the adjusters, getting them freed up, or getting this one freed up. I haven't got the other one freed up yet. I'm going to show it to you, but having to heat them up and break them free, and that's why I couldn't back them off. And don't think I've ever run into them being stuck as bad as these are, but I'll show you what we're doing here. Alright, excuse the sun here. I know it's bright, and it's another one of them, you know, 107-degree days here. You know, this is actually supposed to pivot on here, and I can't even get it to move, but we're going to take the torch and heat that up. Heat it down in here once I get this loose, of course, and then we're going to try to turn it. But I probably should replace the adjusters, but I just don't have any that are right for it. But yeah, this one's definitely in rough shape. Okay, it took a bunch of heating, but we finally got it freed up. We'll get it all cleaned up, and then we'll slide it back together. This is for the driver's side brakes, and we'll be finished with the back. Okay folks, all the brakes are done front and back. Got all the adjusters freed up, good to go. Most people know all this, just a couple little tips. You know, short shoe to the front, and put grease on this when you put it back in. I wouldn't use WD-40 or nothing, because it'll end up drying back out, but if you put some grease on the threads and put it up on the end, that'll keep it from getting froze back there. And I tried to put some grease in all the fittings on this suspension, and seems like every one or every other one I'm running into was just froze up. So I'm going to grab an assortment of grease fittings and go ahead and replace them all, and so we can get grease to them. I've got my hoses on, but I don't have my old ones off. We'll do that when I pull this clip back off. And moving right along, so should be getting somewhere here shortly. I've still got to clean the outsides of the drums up and paint them, and then I'll get all that back together and get the brakes adjusted out. Alright, show you more. Okay folks, we got the front clip back off. Getting ready to make my bracket for my clutch slave cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and mount my master cylinder and clutch master cylinder, brake master and clutch master. Not sure what I'm going to do on the firewall yet. I do want to at least weld up some of the holes and get that taken care of. And I don't know, I may just finish it up with white paint. I'm not sure yet, but anyway, we'll figure that out as we go. You know, I'm not real worried about making it look nice or anything like that. You know, we're just putting it together to drive. So, and of course the front brakes you seen done. I got my rims painted, and they look pretty good. Some pitting on them, but I've got a set of the little thin, well, we actually got one. I'll show you what it looks like. Hold just a minute. Okay, here's the other rim, and these rims are not perfect now. I did take them all the way down to the metal, but you know, they had a little pitting and stuff in them, but I didn't fix any of that. But I'm going to run these trim rings, and this is not one I'm going to run. I've got 4 coming. I actually bought 4 used ones off eBay, and they're in better shape than this. These are pretty beat up, but they use these trim rings. They call them a ribbed ring, and they're 1.5 inches, I think, tall. They use these on I think 48 or 49 to 53 Chevrolets, and I just kind of like the way they was made. They look decent. I'll probably just run a set of chrome lug nuts. You know, orange and chrome seem to look real good together. So, and so that's what we're going to run on there. And I've still got to get. I've got 2 tires I'm going to put on here on an old Ford Explorer. I've got to get them off, and we'll get them mounted and at least get the back done, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do on the front wheels. All right, show you more. All right, here's the rims I wanted to run on the front, but this one here may be, well, it's shot too. I can see the rust in between it, and I think every one of them's like that. Now this does still have the spare up under the back, so it's probably got one good one there, but yeah, it's rusted bad. But that was the style I wanted to use, and I just don't think any of these are gonna pan out, but you know, they're narrower, and I think they would look good on the front. And I think the rims are just too rusty, so we're going to try to at least locate one, and of course we can use the spare, I guess. And here's the tires I'm going to be running on the back. This thing's knocking real bad. I got to pull it around back, and I don't want to take the wheels and tires of it, you know, off up here. I want to put it where in the field with the other stuff, and then I'll get the back tires off. Front tires are they're not very good, so I think we're not going to run them. So we'll have to find 2 more for the front. I did search through the old truck and found a jack in it, and I want to show you. Okay folks, this jack was actually in the box. It's not a jack in the box, but it was a jack in the box. And I will try to turn it here where you can see it. You know, the handle was there and everything, and you can see the paint's still really nice on it. Hein Warner Corporation, Waukesha, Wisconsin. And you know, pulled it out of the box and, you know, hit it and it come right up. So I thought it was bigger than that. It's a 3-ton, and which I didn't think. You know, I was thinking that some of the smaller ones, even smaller than this one, was rated more than that. But anyway, that's what it's rated at. Okay, folks, I've got the drum back on the front. I hadn't got the other side yet. Not messing with the brakes much. I got to get all the lines finished up and everything, but working on the slave cylinder. And as you can see, I actually had to make a rod for it. This is actually a grade 8 bolt, long one, and left the threads on this end, that way we can have it adjustable. I've got to come out with this just like we did on our other one, because our fork's not quite long enough, but the fork's actually too short anyway, so it'll work out just fine. And when this was on the other side, it had a bracket that bolted on it that came out, and then it pulled. So you know, it needs to have a piece coming out anyway. We don't have far to go. We can take care of that, no problem. The bracket, I just used angle iron, sort of like I did the other one, made it a little bit different. And instead of cutting it out, I just put a hole in it and put it through it. And the reason I done that, I used 1/4 inch instead of 3/8. So I went a little thinner, so I actually wanted a little more meat to it. But I hadn't ground it or cleaned it up any really yet. I just built it and put it on there. You know, I'll round these corners off and make it look a little better. But that's moving right along, and I've got the tires and wheels on the back. I don't know. Chrome lug nuts. Still got my beauty rings coming, the little thin ones I'm going to put on it. And you know, the tires aren't the best in the world. I mean, they've got tread on them, but I had nicer tires, but they was older, and I don't like weather cracked tires. I'd rather have one that's got some wear on it than one that's weather cracked or, you know, out of date, because tires will get hot and come apart. So that's where we're staying right now. We'll go ahead and work on this slave cylinder bracket a little bit more. I don't have my master cylinder and clutch master cylinder on yet, and we'll get them on and keep wrapping things up. Okay folks, we've got our piece extended on our fork, got it welded on good. When I made this, I went ahead and I didn't taper it. I actually used a ball mill, which is an end mill that is rounded at the end. And then what I'd done was made a nut. Actually put it on the lathe and turned it and rounded it on the end. And you do that so when this thing pushes out, you know, you're actually changing the angle of the fork to your rod, and you need something that pivots in there to keep it from binding. And you got to make sure the hole's big enough that it'll move in there without, you don't want it 3/8 the same size as that. You want it to be able to slide a little bit, and you see what I'm talking about when it moves up and down. You know, you don't want it to be tight in there to where it can't move. So we've got that taken care of. Getting ready to, I cleaned the bracket up and got it ready, gonna go ahead and get it bolted back on. So we'll go ahead and get our clutch slave cylinder on and get that finished up. Okay folks, here it is hooked up. You can see the rod nice and straight. Got it right where we needed it. And of course it's pressed back all the way, and I still have just a little bit of play here. And what you want, I'll eventually put a spring on here. You want to hold this fork away from your throwout bearing. What you're doing, you're pulling your throwout bearing out so it don't stay against your pressure plate all the time, because if you do that, if this is touching the pressure plate, the bearing, it'll actually spin all the time. You don't want it to spin, so if you put a, leave enough play in it to where it's loose, and then you can pull it back. And then, of course, you can see this is adjustable too. And not a lot of adjustment, but we don't need a lot. And so it's set up and ready to go there. We got our line on, running to the other side, and I think we're going to work on the brake lines now. We'll try to get everything ready where I can put this front clip back on for good. So. Okay, folks, I'm going to hold off here and getting ready to storm on me again, and getting ready to run all the brake lines. And I got the clutch line ran, and you can see what I've done. I coiled it here. Now when you coil them like that, it gives you a little bit of flex. So if you're not running a rubber line, that'll take up for the vibration and stuff in it, keep it from breaking and cracking. And so I've got that one done, and then I've got to get the new master cylinders on yet. But I've got to run the new lines for the brakes, but I'm going to use a different tee up closer. And the reason things are going to be a little bit different is because the master cylinder was mounted on the frame originally. So we're going to change a few things around, but we'll get them running. I'll show you more, but in the next video. Alright, appreciate everybody watching. Bye.